Yo, what is up, everybody? It is your boy Agius, aka Static Shock. Static Shock. Welcome back to another episode of For Life Means a podcast of encouragement, perspective, and life. And I just want to say, thank you for all the people who have been supporting this podcast. I'm not gonna lie to you. Starting a podcast is kind of difficult, especially for a person who really doesn't like to talk that much. But I'm so grateful for the people who consistently watch the episodes and share them. But I'm excited for this episode. Like I said, I've been trying to be I've been trying to respect this podcast a lot more because usually I just write usually I don't even write like what I'm going to talk about. I kind of just go for it, and I kind of feel like I need to like really put the work in, trying to be intentional. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today, about being intentional and preparing for your future. Let's get to it. And we are back. Today's not really gonna start on a story time thing. Just gonna start like saying the things that I've been doing this year. This year, I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened. Maybe it's just me thinking about preparing for my wife. But I've been trying to be very intentional and trying to prepare for my future. Because you know what I'm saying? Like, time is ticking, boy. Time is definitely ticking. I am 27 and not really, there's some things that I want to be able to achieve and be able to provide for my family, my wife, my girlfriend. There's like so many steps that I need to take. And this year I feel like I know that I've made some progress in the past. But I feel like this year I've really been intentional in trying to prepare for my future life. And so this year, like I said, I've been super intentional with how I live my life, and being like, cutting out some certain things and adding things, and just creating healthy habits. Really, that's really what it is creating healthy habits and getting to the bag. Let me just share a few things that have happened this year that I've changed. So one thing that happened, so my sister and I, we used to live in an apartment together. We've actually lived in 2 apartments together, and we let's just say, for lack of a better word, most times we were broke. I'm not trying to put her information out there, but most times we were broke. We were working, and sometimes we work as servers too. And so the money is not always there. It changes every day. But that's really not what it is. I mean, let's be honest. We lived in a nice apartment. That's the first thing. And blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to put out all our information out there. But basically, we had this opportunity to move back in with our parents. And at first we didn't want to do it because, as a grown person, I'm 27, she's 26. As grown people, we don't want to, after you move out, you don't want that your pride is going to take a hit because you can either, go with your pride and go keep on suffering, right? Or, go against your pride and do what is necessary. And so that was one of the decisions we had to make. We moved back home, and ever since we moved back home, bro, I've been able to save money, been able to build up my stock. Like, I'm actually getting into stocks and blah, blah, blah. Just basically, I'm able to save money and able to take the time. There's like less stress on my mind because I don't have rent. And it really has been a blessing. So mom and daddy, shout out to y'all. If you're watching this, thank you so much. Been able to save money. I sell my own merch, and when I did my first merch sale, all the merch that I sold, I took in for myself. Did not save it for my business, but I took it for myself. But I decided this year that with my no fear merch line, that I would save all that money for the business, not take any of it out for me, but saving it for the, I even like paid for all the shipping out of my own money, just so I could have more money for the business. And so that's been huge. Now I have money that's saved up that I can use for future projects or so I can buy all the supplies for my merch. Just trying to be very intentional with how I spend my money and respecting the business that God has called me to run, the business and the ministry and all this stuff. I've even developed a morning routine. I'm going to speed this up really quick because I don't like talking about myself so much. But I've developed the morning routine, waking up, praying, eating breakfast and reading my devotional and reading the Bible. Been eating healthier, been working out, reading devotion every day, praying, reading, and listening to podcasts so I can learn from other podcasts, but also so I can grow and, learning, like what I meant before was like, I've been learning from other podcasts to see how they run their podcast and seeing what kind of topics that they do and how they express themselves so that they're easily understood. But also listening to podcasts that I really like so that I can learn and grow from those podcasts, And so all those things, they've honestly made me feel pretty good. And I just thought about this. My mood, just in general, like I'm a generally happy person, but doing all these things has made my mood just kind of like skyrocket. Like I've been in a really good mood. Like I've been waking up earlier, and I don't know, my mood has just been like really good, really good. I'm less tired, It's just been really good. Sorry, I'm having a brain thing. But yeah, so all those things are really good. And I know that there are some things that you guys are doing that are helping you. You're creating healthy habits. You're getting your money up. You're preparing for your future. And those things are all good, Those are like some steps that need to be taken, most definitely. But, oftentimes when people talk about this subject, they're talking about the physical things that you do, the work that you have to put in physically, that you have to exert yourself, like, eating, you have to go out there and cook, working out, that's obviously you got to work out, saving money, you got to be able to sell your stuff and send it out, blah, blah, blah. These are all great things. And they're preparing you for your future. But I feel like not much people are talking about the emotional things that you have to do. And so one example that I'm thinking of is there are people who can get angry just like that. Like this one little thing happens and they're out of here. They're mad. They're pissed. And, I sympathize with those people because I know that it's not just one thing that's leading up to them getting pissed and all this stuff. Oftentimes it has something to do that happened in their childhood, or even like in adulthood, or maybe they're going under stress. See, but while those things may be true, every day, every second, every moment, you have a chance, you have a choice to choose how you react to certain things, right? If you're just emotions are great. They're God-given. The emotions are great. People will say don't go by your emotions. But there are plenty of emotional people in the Bible. David, come on. David was emotional. That man was going through it, bro. But he still worshiped his God. All throughout that stuff, he still worshiped. Paul went to jail so many times. That man was persecuted like crazy. but still he was able to use his gift. He was still able to live in his purpose while he was in jail. Man was writing letters in jail. He even had favor with the prison guards. Okay, so I say that all to say that every day, every moment, you have a choice to make. You can choose to let your feelings lead you, or you can choose to, you know what? Let me think about it. This really isn't as big as I'm making it. That's the first thing. Most times these things that we get mad about, or that we get, or I don't want to say that, but sometimes we even get sad about certain things. But is this really something that I should be overwhelmed with? Overwhelmed in anger, overwhelmed in sadness? Is it really that important? And sometimes you just have to take a long gander. Take a long gander and be like, is this really important? Why am I so mad about this? And like I said, a lot of these things are because of things that happened in your past, in your childhood. And so it's important. Like this year, I've learned so many things about myself, about the reason why I act certain ways. It's because of things that happened in my childhood. And while it's important to be able to identify those things. But the thing is, a lot of people don't want to identify it, and then when they identify it, they don't want to deal with it. They want to still suffer in that mindset. And if you continue to suffer, if you continue to be led by your emotions, that will lead into your future life. That will lead into how you handle business. That will lead into how you handle your spouse and your kids. That will lead to how you handle the people that you work for. It will handle your habits. I mean, it will impact your habits. It will impact so many things. And if you don't deal with those things, you're just going to keep on living the same life. And that's crazy real. Like, I don't want to be that person that's still sad over little things, that still gets mad over little things. Because if I'm getting mad about this one little thing that happened today, right? And in the future, you know, the anger, it just doesn't subside. You know, it doesn't subside. It will keep on going higher. And so I think we just have to be mindful of, and we have to really prepare for our future. Like, I'm single right now. This is the most perfect time for me to deal with me, for God to deal with me before I put my feelings on somebody else, you know, before my characteristics come out in the wrong way into somebody else. I don't know if that made sense, but it made sense to me. So that's one way that you can prepare for your future. Just figure out, just ask God to expose yourself to yourself. That's what I'd be asking God to do for me. Expose me to me. Okay. And, yeah, sorry. I just went off on, but I got my notes this time, you know, I got my notes. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's all. That's pretty much all that I wanted to say. I also wanted to say that Jesus was beaten, he was mocked, he was spit on, he was tortured, bro. He was tortured, and he did not let any of that affect what his purpose was, what his plan was, what God's plan for his life was. He still went on the cross. And even while he was on the cross, he was still mocked. He easily could have came down from that cross. But he was like, you know, I am focused right now. I might be going through some stuff. I might be bleeding. My head might be crushed from these thorns. My wrist, that there's nails in my wrist. Like, can you even imagine? I don't even want to imagine that. You know, I'm not trying to imagine that, but he could have said, He could have said that, nah, these people don't deserve it. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. But he was thinking about the future. He knew exactly what his purpose was, and because he knew that, he continued on that cross, thinking about us, thinking about his future, thinking about other people's future. Your whatever you do in the present will affect your future, no matter what you think about it or not. It will affect your future. So let's start to be mindful of our future. Let's start to do healthy habits. Sometimes you just gotta change. You just gotta change some things, you know? So yeah, that's what I want to talk about today. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Please share it with somebody. Please, if you're on like YouTube or wherever, give us a comment, give us a like, give us a subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Simple stuff. If you're on Apple Music, give us a rating or something. I mean, come on, yeah, I could do something. But if you don't do any of that, please share this with people. Especially if this was helpful to you, or if you think that I'm spitting truth, please share it with somebody, so that they can hear this. This is not just for me to grow, but sometimes people just need to hear something. You know, sometimes people just need to hear something so that it can click in their head. So yeah, I mean, come on, man, this is for life. This is for life. Not for me. For life. Jesus Christ is life, by the way. But for life. So anyways, thank you for tuning to this episode. I will catch you next time. And don't forget to check out the store to buy your I Am Essential shirts. I wish I had one in here. This is my room. But don't forget to buy an I Am Essential shirt. So yeah, catch you next time. And don't forget to drink some water today. Okay. Yeah, catch you next time. Thank you so much. Peace out.